And here we go to the top left of the map. Once again in the red, down a game already. This is starting for the TSL team. This is
Polt. Alright, I thought about doing TSL and then I
No, that was actually really good.
Thank you.
And at the bottom left, we have his opponent with a 1-0 lead after this win on Metropolis. Starting in the blue, the Prime player, it is
Maru.
Prime. Okay, that was bad. The Prime was bad, the Maru was good. This... Yeah, actually, I can see us doing this at some point. With good voice editing and everything.
You know, the thing is, I don't even necessarily want to do that style. If we do the voice intros, I want to
No, sorry, Wolf. We're not going to go for girly voices.
I'm not going to go for girly voices, no. That's not...
Maru.
I don't want to use that style either, but...
I think nobody wants us to use that style. One thing, by the way, that I have to mention, you pointed out yesterday, you talked a little bit about the new jerseys that the Prime team has, especially when Creator wore the jersey. And I have to say that I saw it now, not on camera, but live. That looks actually really, really good. I was not really sold yesterday, but I'm convinced now. This is actually looking really good. The new gear for, the new clothing for Prime, that's actually pretty decent.
I was sold, man. I bought it from Creator already. $70. Backstage, I took it.
Yeah, the Creator shirt with the Creator sweat on it. You're trying to make anything happen that this skill with Protoss is finally rubbing off.
I don't play Protoss anymore though. I play Terran. I've made basically a complete switch now.
Oh, you made a complete switch?
Yeah, I have not played Protoss in a few weeks actually. I'm really working on Terran right now, and I've gotten quite good, I would say. So I'm happy with this, and one of the main reasons I switched was because I wanted to play Terran in Heart of the Swarm first, and so I kind of wanted to prepare.
You heard
for this.
about the Widow Mines.
That's the one unit I'm most excited for, actually.
I can't blame you.
We'll see. I think that might have to get toned down a little bit with some testing, but that's what I'm really looking forward to.
You think? Not only a little bit, my friend. But well, guys, we have a Terran versus Terran, and we currently have both of them going for an expansion right away. The double gas follow-up for Maru here. He liked the tech in game number 1, and so far Polt is not doing anything with his gas. We see not a single refinery for him. Might just follow things up here with additional barracks. And there they are. Barracks number 2. And where's the third? There it is to the top left.
Yeah, he's going to be going for triple barracks rather than the double gas follow-up, which... This is Polt here we're talking about. He really is not the type of person to mech ever. He just does not feel comfortable with that style. And I think, on a map like this, the style that Polt is going to use is actually quite good. It's big, there's a lot of open space, there's a lot of surface area to try to get concaves with. So
the TSL team is destroying the studio right now.
What happened? I didn't see.
I don't know what happened. I just heard a crash and I turned around and the TSL coach is looking at one of the monitors like with this guilty face and he's like, uh-oh. So he walks out and is probably getting someone from GOM now in order to fix whatever falls over. I don't know what actually happened. I think the monitor just slid down a little bit.
I hope he didn't break one of those monitors, man. Nah. That's how I watch Code S when I come here.
No. He didn't break it, but yeah.
Not like Coach Lee, man. You're in trouble.
He was probably getting really excited about things and just grabbing the monitor and being like shaking it, and then he suddenly falls. He's like, uh-oh, I've done it. Nah, he got himself just a copy. The only thing that happened is that the monitor apparently slid down.
That happens from time to time.
But I just heard it and it was like, uh-oh, what did happen? Because we have those thingies to our left and right side as well, and sometimes they fall over because they are not really screwed into the, how do you call the thing at the bottom here?
The stage, I guess? I
don't know, it's a small thing, isn't it? It doesn't really have a name. Yeah, the stage. So sometimes people just walk by and they think they can actually put their hands on them and rest on them or whatever, and they fall over. So
sometimes you get the good old backpack fishtail slap, and things can go awry. Well, I think Maru is gonna mech here.
Oh, you think?
Double armory's coming up. I didn't even see that before I set up, but now I'm like, well, I think it's pretty clear. And this is going to be a cool clash.
Obvious strikes again.
This is going to be a cool clash of styles, I feel. He scouts what Polt's doing. He's like, well, this is what I expected, and I could try to Hellion for that.
We were talking that just the other day, I think a week ago, with Captain Obvious puns and like, no shit, Sherlock. And, well, I actually looked up a couple of YouTube videos, and there's this one where Captain Obvious is flying around stating obvious stuff, and then this one guy is like, "Oh really? You don't say? Can you tell me anything that I don't know?" Captain Obvious looks at him as like, "No, I don't." Oh, I love it.
Well, Captain Obvious is quite the hero, man.
Yeah, he is. But okay, coming back to the game now, we have currently this mech style that we already pointed out with Maru going for the double upgrades for his mech army, and Polt, he's really loving his bio play.
Well, do you remember what I said about the Polt rule? He's only broken it once I can think of.
This is the second time.
And you know what the Polt rule is, right? It's...
You made up several Polt rules. You already have the Polt build, so...
No, the Polt rule, man, is you don't make more than 2 factories in TVT. Or actually in TVZ or in TVP.
Look at this drop, actually able to sneak in, and there's nothing. Polt moves out at the same time.
Oh, wow. This is unfortunate for Polt. He's going to lose a lot here.
Oh, God.
Now
this is not only unfortunate.
He's got to make something work here, and Maru knows it too. Maru does not have very much at home either. He's got the one bunker here. He's got SCVs to repair, but Polt's DPS is going to be too much.
Polt's DPS definitely is going to be too much. He's splitting his Marines as the Hellions are now moving in. And Polt actually could kill a lot more here than Maru did, because Polt already defended. And here comes the TSL player taking down not only one mule, but moving up the ramp. And so far, Maru does not have a lot, and Polt with a lot of DPS here, he could actually take Maru down at this point.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to the Hellions. How much DPS can they do? The units are very stacked here, and Maru actually, with some good control on his Hellions, he's going to defend this.
Polt, not really. Polt already killed 19 Harvesters, and well, he kind of defends it, but at what cost? We have 40 Harvesters against 27. Polt in quite the economical lead right now. And 2,200 resources lost for Maru. Polt only lost 1,700. Is in a great position here. Maru now transitioning into siege tanks with siege mode. But this attack was really well executed by Polt. I was a bit scared when those Hellions were dropped in his main base because he didn't have any units back home. But with only a few Marines, he made this defense happen. Lost 7 SCVs in the process. But the damage that he caused at the main base and the expansion of his opponent, that was quite a lot. And of course, Maru is losing a lot of mining time here too.
Yeah, Maru though is leagues ahead in tech. He is got an insane amount of upgrades already going. He's got 2-2 coming out for his tanks, and this game is nowhere near over. And actually, if Polt loses these units trying to attack Maru a second time, then he is going to really regret it. He's got to be... his Hellions are on hold position for some reason. All right, the tank siege and the SCVs come out.
The tank dies before it gets off a shot. The second tank, that's the one who will make a lot of damage here, though. Another tank dies, and Polt is just killing too much stuff.
Yeah, Maru...
This attack will be a help, but still.
Well, this time I think it may be too much because Polt has traded well twice. And, you know, I think that if Maru had his tank sieged up earlier, if he had reacted better...
He couldn't. He didn't have the upgrade ready.
Well, he had it, but his tanks just came down the ramp, you know? They just came down the ramp, and it's actually his second tank didn't even siege it on the ramp, so... He just walked right into the shots. As soon as he literally ran into the Marauder physically, that's when he started to fire. And his Hellions were on hold position, which normally makes sense, but in this case, he didn't move them quickly, lost a few of those. And I think his defense could have been better. Now he's desperate. He needs to make this drop work, and even if he does, he has 30 supply down.
He gets spotted early on. The third orbital is ready for Polt. Maru just building the command center, and this is bad news for the Prime player. Bad news indeed. There's just so much stuff going on for Polt right now. Even a 4th base already being built, and he's chasing this drop away. He takes down the Medivac and those Hellions. We have a very sneaky expansion for Maru Prime at the bottom right of the map. A move that I like a lot, but I'm not quite sure if this is not too little too late.
Well, you know, if he does this, I mean, he needs this. If you want to do this 3-base mech cell, well then you need a 3rd base, and he's already got the factories in play, 2 additional ones coming up here. He is really relying on this not being scouted, and I mean, with the tank spread he's got here, with +2 plating finishing up for his tanks, he will hold this next ground move out by Polt, but Polt can just expand all over the map now.
He can't just drop into the main base. He does have all these units, and he has the Medivacs. If he circumvents the army and drops into the main, what is Maru going to do?
Well, he's going to die if that happens. But Polt, so far, not showing any tendency to do this. Now he's doing it. All right, so he's lifted up. And Maru, smartly, he knows this. He spouts with the Hellion. He moves his units back into his main base immediately, but he cannot spread himself too thin here, and that's the problem. He just has so few units that it's so difficult to actually spread himself correctly.
And Polt is such an experienced player. He knows that he is way ahead of his opponent, but that he has not won the game just yet, that he is in a major league, but he needs to build additional bases, which is what he does. He already builds the 5th command center. He's getting for +2/+2. He knows he has this huge economy. The only oversight that I can see in Polt's play right now is that he's not thinking about scouting the entire map for bases of Maru, but that's a small oversight, and so far Maru could not really capitalize on the space that he has in the bottom right. He will if Polt allows him, but at the same time, look at all these bases that we have, and still the threat of Polt dropping. And he's actually doing it.
He's doing it, man. He's going in with 4 medevacs, and this time Maru is out of position with most of his units. These Hellions alone will not defend this. He needs the tanks, and he starts to siege them. Polt being very careful at the front, continuing to scan. And actually, Maru, with these tanks sieging up here, actually will defend this, but he's losing a lot again.
I don't think he's going to defend
Actually, yeah, you're right. He may not even be able to defend it. He loses all of his tanks.
His tank count is now at 5 tanks, 2 additional ones building, but he's losing SCVs. Over the course of this game, Polt took down 34 SCVs, 36 already. This is just something that you cannot compensate for. 40
he's
SCVs
killing
against
everything
63.
at the front.
The front is
GG.
dying as well. Maru loses the 2nd game, and this series is exactly what we expected. The clash of 2 titans, a very experienced player in Polt, and of course Maru, who I would still call a little bit of an up-and-comer, even though he was in Code S, even though he is the disciple of Marine King.
He didn't have an impressive Code S run yet. Not really. I mean,
It was impressive to see that he was able to get into Code S, and he is of course someone that you always have to count on winning a game against the big name, but right now he has to prove himself again, and this is a great match, a great best of 3, and we are heading into the 3rd map. Something's wrong with our StarCraft, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to restart this, actually.
Yeah, I think our StarCraft is currently just going for the slow mode.
Yeah, that was really crazy. I'm going to reboot it right now before we jump in, but score is tied 1-1 now. Polt against Maru, and the timings of Polt's attack were just perfectly executed. Nothing really else to say. I mean, the defense of Maru the 2nd time was a little bit poor, but he was already behind from the beginning. I think he could have come back if he defended the 2nd attack well, especially with that 3rd base that he had hidden, but he was spread too thin against Polt's drop play at the end, and the 3rd and final map is going to be, in fact, Ohana.
The first 2 trades that Polt made were great and brought him into a lead, and he really capitalized on the lead. He exploited it as much as he could. He knew that his opponent had a low unit count, especially with the mech strategy that Maru was going for, so he could always just spread his opponent out thinly, force him to defend at the natural drop to the main base.
3rd base for Polt was a great idea. I mean, everything he did, his follow-up was perfect.
It was just very well executed. But Maru was looking very good on map number 1. He was trying to establish himself in map number 2. Didn't work, but now we have Ohana. Map number 3 has started. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the GSL Code A. It is the 2nd round. And the games are, of course, cast today once again by Colin Wolf.